I'll preface this story with, I am not a relationship expert, nor do I claim to be. I am just a woman who has learned some things and some lessons the hard way. So I was dating this guy probably for about 4.5 months. And during the time that I was dating him, he would share these little stories of how his ex was combative with him, or his ex would put up some roadblocks preventing him from seeing the kids, or she just always gave him a hard time. And one day he was telling me a story of a situation where he was trying to make arrangements to see the kids, and she was giving him a hard time through text messages or whatever. And I told him, or I asked him as he was talking, I said, hey, is your information on the kids' school records? And he was like, yeah, I know where you're getting at with this. I can go pick the kids up from school, but I never go pick the kids up from school because she's always there in the car line. I don't want it to be no issues. That's her thing. She typically does. So what I did was I said, hey, if your name is on their school records, you can go up to the school, find out when they call to school, find out when they eat lunch. It's 25 minutes out of your day, and just go eat school lunch with them, right? And I said they will be so surprised and they will be excited to see you. And he was like, yeah. And he was like, man, that'll be good because I haven't seen the kids in like 3.5 months, right? Because his ex puts up all these roadblocks, right? And so fast forward 2 months, we were out to dinner, and he brought up another situation of he was trying to get the kids for the weekend. And he was like, yeah, I talked to their mom earlier, yada, 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 yada. And out of frustration, before he could get deep into telling me how this woman was being combative, I looked over at him and I said, did you ever go eat lunch with the kids? And he looked at me and he said, no, I never made it up there. Y'all, that was the last time that man saw me. And
So this gentleman has kids with his ex, and a lot of women do put up roadblocks, guys, believe it or not. I'm not saying that there aren't dudes that want things a certain way and still want to clap the cheeks. If they don't clap the cheeks, they don't have nothing to do with their kids, which I think is insane to me. But just to know your dad came to have lunch with you or came to chill with you, especially at a young age, is dope. I tried to do that one time. For those of you who have read my book, I mentioned that at a part of my book where I had come back from Afghanistan and I wanted to surprise everybody. I flew back and I went to go have lunch with my son or whatever. And they called the principal, and she was like, I don't know what y'all got going on, and you're not on the list. And I was like, I'm not on the list. And I didn't think anything of it, but I guess it's because my ex-wife at the time was just taking care of the kids while I was in Afghanistan. I would come home every few months. But I think that's one of those important things if the school will allow it. And the principal hit me with like, this isn't the place for visitation. You need to handle that in court. And I was like, what are you talking about?